Warning, the following contains material that may be too disturbing to some people. Descriptions of violence, mature situations, and adult themes. This is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Things can be done.
Howdy, folks. We are live. This is Forest of Flesh, episode 95. Welcome, everyone. It's been a couple weeks. How is everybody doing while I'm putting out the tweets and everything? Wait till you see this GIF on this stream tweet. It's good stuff.
Tired, very tired.
Very tired. Can relate. I had a back injury earlier I guess last week. Was that last week? It was last week. It's a week ago yesterday. And my back is still not 100%, but I can sit up and stuff. So that is, I can walk and things like that. It's just, I'm like,
you can exist.
Yeah, I'm like 80%. But I'm here. We're doing it. We've got the stuff ready. As you can see, there's a new overlay for the new arc. Enjoy. Just switching things up a little bit here. Anybody got any cool stories from the past couple weeks? You'll also notice we got two new faces at the table, by the way. We've got Mori and Wolfie from Broken joining us today.
Hello.
Yeah, a new face and a new voice. Hi.
Along with Wolfrin and Ferdy and Keo. Some familiar faces on Forest of Flesh. And we got new title screens. So Civil War in Heaven is today. That's what we're calling the arc. And it's going to be a good time. These guys are all a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit nervous because we haven't streamed in a little while. But yeah, this is going to be weird. Nobody really knows what to expect. They don't know I'm going to kill them right away.
No, he's going to pull a Broken again.
That's how we started Broken, by the way.
But wait, aren't we all?
No,
yeah, he's going to kill us again.
Yeah, oh, I'm gonna kill you all again. Okay.
Great.
Well, we talked about like doing intros and that kind of thing. I think we decided not to do it, so we're just gonna, because these are all new characters. So we're basically just gonna jump in. I think is how we're gonna do this. Oh man, okay. Butterflies. All right. Hey, Ella's in the chat. No intros.
Hi,
Lame. We're gonna start.
Hi, Ella.
We're gonna start. Hi, Ella. By the way, we're gonna start doing intros next week. I think is the plan. So. They do look good. The Viroids look great. So thank you, by the way. Very awesome of you. So we see Ferdy and Mori's characters both have Viroids. We'll describe them when we get to them, I guess. I don't know.
Spoilers.
Next week I'm gonna have text on their screen showing their name too. All right. Okay, so we fade in on a dark, musty room. With spores hanging in the air. The camera pans across this giant batch of mushrooms, these yellow mushrooms kind of organized on the ground, and then past a body, some kind of mushroom humanoid corpse. And as the camera pans across the floor, we see the body of a man like slumped up against the wall. We've seen this body before. somewhat recently. Wolfrin, do you want to describe your character?
Sure.
Let me pull you over to the screen.
He is, the body, he is
Yeah, it's the body. Yeah.
about average. I believe, I don't remember what the wounds on that body were. I think you described it at the time, but it was a while ago.
I think
So, other than
torso,
that,
his torso is like torn open.
ripped open.
Yeah.
Okay. So besides the innards hanging out, the innards that are not innards, he looks to be about roughly average height, slender build, kind of slender elven features, stark white hair, but the beard and like goatee mustache are of a darker gray. I think probably very dull, like golden amber eyes that are unseeing at the moment. Not wearing a whole lot, just a pair of baggy, like brown trousers. His upper torso does have a lot of markings, and at closer inspection, those that haven't been ruined by the gaping wound, you can see that they are some sort of scarification, burn marks.
Okay.
I think that's it. I think the only thing, like the only ostentatious thing on him are silver sort of, not manacles, but not bracelets either, somewhere in between that he wears on his wrists.
Okay. So as like the camera pans across you, we just see a corpse on the ground with all these features. No life. Maybe your mouth is hung open agape. Eyes staring blankly off into the distance. Maybe clouded. And we hear the sound of bare feet on stone approaching you. As the camera like pans over, we see Tulpa in his childlike drow form. Ferdy, right on. Hey Ferdy, how's it going? I see you waving. And he steps forward up to you, and as he gets close to you, we see the flesh on your wounds starting to knit itself back together. The bones, the rib cage, which is probably splayed open and broken, cracks, and the pieces fit back together. The bones grow back together. And Tulpa sort of like kneels down and just stares at your face as your body sort of like puts itself back together. You're aware of all of this. You feel every inch of pain as your muscles crack, as your bones re-break to fit themselves back together, as your flesh stitches itself back together. It's a strange feeling. Maybe you've used healing magic before. I would imagine it would be nothing this extreme. It's like extreme fire in your nerve endings, and also like a strange like itchiness, if that's even the right word for it. But eventually, after, I don't know, 30, 45 seconds, a minute or so, you can move, and you feel your organs starting to work again. the new ones that have just grown in. Tulpa, looking at you, says, Rise. There's still work to be done. And then he like tilts his head to the side as he just like kind of stares blankly at you. And he says, do you remember me, Myrkrið?
I think as Myrkrið regains control, he kind of gasps and what happened?
You failed. You fell to the flesh.
He kind of like shakes his head. Then why am I back?
The mother's embrace. He just sort of watches you, like he's gauging you for a reaction.
Yeah. I think Myrkrid's face goes from like sort of bewildered to growing angry quickly.
Yeah, he takes a step back. And he kind of puts his hands up like defensively a little bit. And he says, not to worry. It's over now for the time being. He kind of like squints a little bit. And he says, I have her. And he like opens his eyes and looks at you again blankly. And he says, she's right where she needs to be. I'll trouble you no longer.
I do remember you. You made it then.
He nods. And he says, took some time. You weren't the last.
What do you mean?
To go.
I saw the others fall. I think I was the last.
He kind of winces, like he makes a face. I guess you can insight check him if you want.
Sure. Scroll.
Yeah.
Insight.
Okay. So I don't know if the audience could see it, but he rolled it in secret by accident.
Oh, whoops.
No big deal. He rolled a 17. So what you see on his face is like a brief moment of pain. The rest of the time he's been talking to you, he showed it's been complete stoicism. There's no emotion on his face at all. Almost like a still lake, right? Like kind of cold, a little bit callous, unfeeling. But for a moment you see him like wince, kind of in pain. And he says, your people are no more. But there is still something you can do to help them.
What do you mean? The ones that came? I know. I saw him die.
He nods and he says, "Such is the fate of the drow. Perhaps there's something we can do to fix that."
Like what?
Pull their souls back from the devouring maw. Return them to the wheel. There's still work to do, Myrkrið. If you think you can suffer just a bit longer.
Why not choose one of the others? They do better.
He makes another face, like he kind of looks away from you and down at the floor for a moment. It's almost pity. I think it's probably the best way to describe it. But the instant like you register the face, it's gone. Like the emotion just washes out of him. And then he says, there have been others, yes. But I am not confident they can do what needs to be done. Let me show you. The room suddenly changes. The cave walls warp and twist in on themselves and sort of fold into scenery of trees. You suddenly realize you're standing not on stone, but on grass. And the smell of a raging inferno fills your nostrils. You find yourself standing in a clearing.
I think Myrkrið is looking pretty confused. I'm not sure he's ever seen trees or grass.
Yeah, it might be kind of alien to you. The sound of the fire is loud. And the scene in front of you is this man who you don't realize is also Tulpa, who I think was thrown to the side. So he's like laying on the ground, trying to get up. Then you see this guy who's being held up in the air by this rather large red dragonborn. And he's lit up like a candle. When the scene first happens, it's all happening and as the moment was playing out, but it suddenly slows down. Tulpa points to Vash, who's currently held aloft in this thing's hands on fire. He points to the man who's being burned alive in front of you. And he says, this is one. I could perhaps reach back out. To do what I need you to do, Myrkrið, I would have to kill him.
He's pointing to Vash.
Yeah. Luckily, you are already dead.
So is everything like time stopped, or is
Yeah,
or
it's
are
like
things?
it's not completely
Oh, okay.
frozen, but it's like moving so slow that it might as well be frozen, basically.
Oh, okay. Um. So Myrkrið kind of like looks over the scene, looks around for a second before responding. Then he says, "I don't feel dead. Dead felt better than this."
What did it feel like for you, Myrkrið? Did she give you
Nothing.
good? You just say nothing. You cut him off, and you say nothing. And he nods, and he says, "Is that what you want for your people? To fade away into nothing?"
He looks confused.
He kind of
You
shakes.
talk like
He shakes his head. Go ahead.
you talk like there's any other option. We exist, we suffer, and then we get release.
Yeah, he says, no. There's more to life than suffering.
Myrkrið just obviously does not believe this.
Have you heard of heaven, Myrkrið?
I think he shakes his head no.
It's paradise. It's a very real place, much like the world you come from. For most beings to get there, they have to reach a state of spiritual enlightenment, sort of perfection, or at least a zenith. He says, suffering is an important step on the journey, yes.
I don't get it. Perfection. I'm nowhere close. What would perfection even be?
Happiness, joy, at the very least, chance for something better.
Those are fairy tales.
If what you experienced is truly nothing, then you are one of the lucky ones. Most of your people killed by the flesh join her, are tormented for eternity, forced to cannibalize each other, forced to walk as living monsters, slaying their friends, their loved ones, anything else that exists, only to bring more under her embrace. Do you wish that for them? Or would you like a chance to save them from that? If not, for yourself.
He kind of looks down and is thinking.
I think the scene around you just like disappears. I think we fade back into the cavern. And he says, Heaven stood against the flesh, much like you. What was left of yours. But powerful. Many primordial gods joined together. They weren't able to stop it. Not until I came along. I need to send an envoy, a representative. They need to know that there is corruption in their ranks, that the liars, masters, found their way in before it's too late.
So you want to send me to a place where everything is great and tell them it's not. And that's supposed to help you?
I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm not, it won't be a perfect place for very long.
What am I supposed to do?
Make an agreement with them. A truce. I can be there, and he taps the side of his head like his temple to help if you'd like.
I think Myrkrið just looks confused by that statement.
He starts to get frustrated. He says, he kind of his face tenses up a bit. And he says, I need them to know we're not enemies. Too many of them have been killed already. If the liars get to the fountain, then it's too late. We need to stop that from happening. And if that fails, if we can't reach a deal, if you can't stop that from happening, well, then I suppose they do all have to burn.
Who are the liars? What are they lying about?
He says, what are they lying about? Everything. The great lie. That was them putting souls in bodies in the first place. The suffering you enjoy so much came from them originally. They were a great race once. Created things that helped every world they touched. They got lost in the flesh. It changed them. What they've become: monsters. Monsters that consume every intelligent being they can find that enslaves them, tortures them to no end, converts them into themselves, spreads like a contagion, a disease, wipes out worlds. The fountain where heaven is, it's the source of all life, all magic in every world. They controlled it once. If they take it again, anything good will no longer exist. If that happens, it makes you correct. They will make a world where there is no end to suffering, where it is truly all there is. Every being in all of the worlds, all of the planes of existence, will know nothing but pain, death. They'll never get the release of nothing. I'm hoping we can stop that.
That sounds like Lolth. So she was one of them.
They often pretend to be gods. There was Lolths that were them, yes. There have been many avatars for Lolth.
He kind of shakes his head again, and he still seems kind of confused. He says, "You want my help? You woke me up. I'm here now. I will help, but even if heaven isn't an option, then I want nothingness for me and my people. I want to be done after this."
Yeah, he nods. He says, I have no intent in hanging on to those souls. I only want to let them free again.
Fine, I'll be your messenger.
Good.
Where do I go?
As you say that, the ground starts to vibrate, like we hear that low droning sound. Tulpa kind of backs up. And he says, you'll be there shortly. As like we see like the stones start to dissolve into that fine black powder that we've seen before. We see you start to sink into it. Right, like the ground starts to develop a perfectly spherical pit. And yeah, it happens over the course of like, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds, almost like a quicksand. You sort of get pulled down into this stuff.
Tulpa doesn't look like he's freaking out?
No. He just steps back and kind of watches you coldly.
Myrkrið probably reacts in a panic at first, and then seeing how calm Tulpa is, probably stops struggling.
As like you get up, it gets up to like your chest. We can see light starting to pour out from whatever opening is under all this black powder, as like your body moving like lets out some of the light underneath. So you have this like bright light under you, with like this black powder between you and it. You can't really feel anything, as like parts of you that have made it into the light kind of go numb immediately.
Okay.
until it like passes, until like you sink in above your head. You see your vision goes white. And we fade to a like a field of sand. And in this field of like sand, like it's probably relatively flat. I wouldn't imagine there's many dunes. We see all these little like maybe like these little iron like coat hanger sized stems like sticking out of the sand every like couple feet. They're all like lined up. And on the end of each of these things is like a little bell, right? And as the camera like fades in from white, we're just looking at this like this all these things just lined up on like the desert floor. The one right next to the camera starts to ring, like the bell starts jingling, like it's caught in the wind or something. And yeah, we see the ground start to move. You come to, and darkness. Make a Constitution save.
Okay.
Okay. You're fine. You're not struggling to breathe or anything, but it's very difficult to move. You're buried. You're buried under earth.
I assume there's not air
Yeah,
to breathe.
you're doing okay for right now. Yeah.
Then, I mean, he's going to try and claw his way out.
Okay. Make a
And if it's really difficult, he's going to start to get kind of determined.
make a strength or athletics check. Try to move.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we see from above the sand starting to jostle a bit. The bell sitting above this spot is just ringing away, just ding, ding, ding. It's just ringing like crazy, right? And yeah, we see the earth like starting to turn, and then we see like a hand reach out of the ground, and like grasping at the side as you start to like pull yourself up, from this sand that you're buried in. I don't think I think you have whatever you had on you, like as far as like whatever you had on you as far as clothing and that kind of stuff goes. As you like pull yourself out of the ground, you're laying on like a desert floor. You roll over, you see all these other, the bell, as soon as you're out of the ground, the bell stops ringing. But looking around, you see like a field of all these bells on like little metal stems, like that are poked into the ground. And you just like a bunch of desert around you. But when you look in one direction, you can see the like like buildings. It's way off in the distance, but it's kind of like a city skyline. And a sky, which might be very weird for you. I mean, just like the trees and stuff, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
Big open space. Like it might be a little oppressive to you because you're used to living underground. But in the sky, you can see like, and again, this is off in the direction of this sort of like city that you can see. You see like a big moon in the sky on one side. On the opposite side, there's a sun that's still fairly up, so it's probably like daytime. And there's also like a big bright star in the sky, and a bunch of like smaller stars in the background, but there's one really big bright one. And in the center of this like city that you're looking at there is this immense like column of light that seems to be like coming from the center of it, and it runs almost up the entire sky, like through the middle, kind of like the Milky Way galaxy. If you were looking at the night sky and you can see the like the galactic nebula or whatever, you know what I mean? Um,
Hmm.
a bit like that, but it's just like an immense column of light. Um,
Is it dark where he is, or is it like the only light is coming from these sources, or
well,
is
the sun is up too. The sun and the moon are out. But the sun is
probably
like,
tries to squint at each one to figure out what it is for a good minute?
yeah, yeah, fair.
I don't think that's advisable.
And if I can, I'd like to like take a quick glance around, take a sniff of the air, see if there's like, do I smell anyone, anything?
Um, no, well, there's not anyone like immediately around you. You do smell a like a faint, sort of flowery smell. Um, make a perception check.
Okay. Is this a smell thing?
Yeah, it's for smell and sight.
Okay.
Okay.
21.
So you get like a earthly, sweet, fruity, kind of smell. Um, it's got like a deep richness to it, but it quickly fades. The other thing you would notice is that smell seemed to be coming from you.
Does
But
it smell like decay?
no, it smells like a flower, like a fresh flower.
Okay.
But it quickly fades. And there's a bit of it coming from around the spot you just crawled out of too, but it also like fades relatively quickly. As far as like, there's no people out here. You're just like out in the middle of a deserted like desert outside this city.
Yeah.
The only real thing around, there's like a bunch of like rocky outcroppings in the distance and stuff. But the only thing that's really around is uh got to be in the direction of the city. There's no other buildings or people walking around or anything like that.
And you said there's a bell attached to a metal pole?
Yeah, there's tons of them. Like if you're looking around, there's probably thousands of
Right.
these things, and they're all spaced out every like few feet in like rows that are probably about
Can I
6 feet apart.
go up to the one above the hole that I made and just like look at the bell? Is there anything about it?
Yeah, so the rod that's like sticking out of the ground appears to be like a thin iron rod. Um, uh, you could probably bend it easily if you wanted to, and it's just sort of like bent in a hook on the end. And this little, probably like brass bell, is sort of like laid over the hook. It's got like a little hole made on the end of it so it could fit on like the hook on this iron stem.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you can grab it and take it off the hook or take the hook with you if you wanted to. Up to you.
I think he'll just grab the bell, unhook it, kind of look on the outside and the inside, and then like stow it in a pouch and start walking towards the whatever the lights are, I guess.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, we see you like looking at the bell. It's very simple and plain. There's no like engravings on it or anything. As you like rotate it over in your hand, you can hear like the little metal weight inside hit the side of it, and it kind of tings a little bit. But nothing really happens or anything. It's just a
I'm gonna
really
make sure to like stuff it with something so it isn't jingling as I walk. But
okay.
yeah, I'm gonna stow it and start heading in that direction. How far does it seem it is?
Um, I would say at most like a day's travel. Like if like maybe a couple hours walk. maybe a couple. It looks to be like probably a couple miles at least. I would say you'd almost you don't really know like sense of day and night because um
That's not how we. Yeah.
um well yeah like you wouldn't be able like I'd be there by nightfall. You wouldn't understand that. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it would take an incredible amount of time. It's definitely walking distance, but it's going to be a hike.
Okay. I think yeah, he'll start. He's not in any hurry to reach there, but he doesn't delay. He just starts heading that way.
Okay.
He figures whatever the place that Tulpa wanted him to go, it's probably that.
Yeah. I think we fade out of that scene there. So you like walking through as you like start to walk through the sands. The other thing you would notice is it's not like it's not uncomfortable as far as temperature goes. It's not really hot. It's not really cold or anything like that. There is a slight breeze. And there might even be like the occasional cloud in the sky, but it's mostly clear skies. But again, that would all be like Chinese to you, basically.
No stars or anything.
Yeah, there's again the sun is up. I mean, it's off on one side of the sky. But it is still up. You can still see like one really big bright star in the sky. And a normal night sky behind it, like a bunch of small stars.
He's probably occasionally glancing up, trying to figure out what those are as well. Like he's just
yeah,
examining things. He's never seen anything that any sort of like plant life that glowed that brightly.
When you look at the moon, is there any like does it do anything? I don't know. I was just asking.
Is it a full moon?
It is, yeah.
I don't think so then. I don't think there's any like recognition or.
Yeah, okay. I was just curious. Just a bunch of alien stuff to you, huh?
Kind of.
Yeah. All right. All right. So we fade out on that there. And we'll fade into the next scene. Let me make sure that this scene is good. This screen is good. Okay. Boom. So everybody should be able to see this. If you can't see it, players, you can see it on stream. It's because your token is not here, probably. If you can't see anything, don't worry.
Probably why. Got it.
Okay. So, we fade in on another desert scene. This time we're looking at like a sort of marketplace, in the desert, and it's like around these like stone columns, almost like it's a little bit too loud. Let me turn it down a bit. Almost like a Stonehenge kind of spot at the desert, with all these tents, these like big canvas awnings set up, and there's a bunch of like torches like for light. Where here it's a bit darker. And we see people like walking around in this marketplace. Ferdy's trying to fix your cam, I think. Don't worry, you got a second. As we're sort of like the camera's like looking over this marketplace, we see people walking in from like the edges. Let me click so you can see from like these openings. They're walking into this marketplace, but you don't see them walking up. They sort of just suddenly appear at the edges of these openings and walk in. As the camera like fades into the scene, we get like text on the on the bottom of the screen that says like Heaven Fortune District or something along those lines. We see all these people. There's some people like sitting around drinking. There's people that are like playing a card game under some of these awnings, that kind of thing. The general mood is somewhat positive. Like there are guards on top of some of these areas with bows and stuff, and some of these folks do look like they could fight. There's one guy that kind of looks like a genie, like his lower half is all made of air. There are these dogs that are laying around. Like one of these dogs is like laying on a blanket watching these people play this card game. These
I'll take 6
foo dogs or what have you. And then there is a clap of thunder nearby. And walking into the sort of surroundings, we see a man with a familiar looking rice hat, wearing tower robes. He walks into the market area. The people on the when the thunderclap happens, everyone like turns and looks like, what was that noise? The people up top with the bows all draw their bows and point it at him. Everyone in the market space like turns and looks at him as he like walks in. This dwarf over here, we see him take a step forward and draw his weapon before he says, "Are you lost?" And then Nurnum keeps walking forward and says, now, I'm not here for a fight. He like looks around and you got all these people that are suddenly watching him. Some of these are like these giant machine things that are made out of like all these golden gears. And like, yeah, I mean, everything is just like, everyone's got his attention. Some of the people kind of look, angry, like they're mean mugging him a bit. Others look sort of scared. Like there's this guy who's probably part giant, who is walking through the market. He turns and looks at Nurnum, and then his eyes go down to the ground, and he kind of takes a step back. The dwarf says, "This isn't your place, Nurnum. Not your territory." And Nurnum kind of like puts his hands together and bows slightly, like he's doing in his token image here. When he comes back up, we just see his face from like nose down because of the rice hat. And he says, "Like I said, not looking for a fight, but I'll be happy to oblige if you must." And the dwarf like looks around to everyone else who like does not look like they want to fight. Like when he looks at them, they all like look away or look down. And he says, Nurnum says, "I'm just here to get a fortune, deliver a message. I hope there's no problem. I'll bring my bad luck somewhere else as soon as my business is taken care of." And the dwarf kind of like doesn't look happy. So he kind of like huffs and takes a step back, and then he points like over in this direction. He says, "Fine, get your fortune. Get out of here." We don't need any more bad luck around these parts. And Nurnum kind of like nods and walks in that direction. So we see him like pass through this other opening where he sees like these bricks laid out shaped in an arrow that point to this this tent over here. It's not really showing up for you guys for some reason, so let me see if I can
we can't see it.
fix
I'm blind.
that by giving this token light. There we go. And there we go. Okay. And so yeah, he walks through this, sees the arrow, and then we see him walk up to this tent where there's this candle burning outside. And there's like a pile of candles laying in the sand. But only one of them is lit. And he turns over and looks at this sign over here. And the sign says Ebb and Flow, owned by an enlightened creature. I guess maybe it doesn't say owned by an enlightened creature. Oh no, it's up to you, Ferdy.
It just says Ebb and Flow.
All right, so he sees a sign Ebb and Flow, and then he kind of like I guess he tuts, like he just kind of and then he like steps into the tent. So let me grab your token and bring it over here. There we go. So what do we see as he walks in, Ferdy?
He sees a short red-headed creature with green eyes, and then she has like mutton chops for a beard, and she welcomes the guy who enters the room. Welcome to Ebb and Flow.
Am I using the right token here, or am I supposed to be using one of the other ones?
Let me see. I don't really see anything in my map.
Let me make sure your token has vision. 1 second. Oh gosh. Your token, I just pulled your other tokens over here and they're real big. Okay. Vision. Do you have dark vision at all?
No.
Okay. You should be able to see from this token.
Oh, okay. Where am I?
Top right.
Oh, top right. Okay. So inside the tent, you see like a foyer where there's like a curtain behind the creature he's speaking with.
So I think I'm supposed to be using one of the other tokens right now. The way
Yeah.
you're describing your character. But let me figure out which one I'm supposed to be using. I think
The
I can't
female one.
I can't see them until I blow them up because they're really tiny on my screen. This one?
Oh, gotcha. Let's see. It's loading for me. No, not that one.
Okay. All right, no problem. This one then. Hang on. This one.
See, loading for me. Yeah, that one.
All right. Make sure it's got vision. Boom. Okay. So.
All right. She greets him and tells him, "Welcome to Abe Flo, where we help you get into the swing of things." And then you see right beside her is a pendulum.
Awesome. Here. Cool. All right. Yeah, he bows. And he says, "Yeah, I was hoping to get a fortune if you have time."
We do have time. We're technically new to the district. So, can I do an insight check to know what his intent is?
Sure. Make an insight check.
Right.
14. He seems like the way he moves is pretty graceful and like with intent. So he seems like he means
Okay.
business, right? He seems kind of capable.
Mhm.
And he kind of carries himself like a noble, like somebody with power. But he also seems to be intentionally be trying to show kindness, I guess is the right way to put it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that with a 14 if he was up to something that you'd be able to tell.
Okay.
But he does there is something a bit off about his behavior, I guess. Like maybe he's not being 100% straightforward.
Okay. You seem to have this air about you. Maybe we could help with that. We offer many things here in Abe Flo. I'm the manager. Just refer me as manager. We do spiritual guidance. We help with decision making. We answer yes or no questions, and we cleanse negative energy for 20 gold apiece.
When you say that last bit, when you're like, and we cleanse negative energy, he goes, "Ha!" Like he kind of like laughs. It's not really a laugh. It's more like he's just like acknowledging that was funny. But it's not really a laugh. Like it seems like controlled kind of. Make a perception check.
All right. Let's see.
He's wearing regalia for the tower, definitely. Like pretty good regalia for the tower. Like he must be a higher up, at least. Like his robes are really nice.
We can help you with, and then I offer my hand and then like try to ask for money. Pick which one you need to be, or you need guidance with.
Yeah, you hold out your hand for money and he says, he kind of like waves a hand at you like, "Oh, I don't have any of that. But I do have this." And he like reaches into his robes and he pulls out an envelope. And he sets it down on like the table or the counter. It's a plain looking envelope. So probably there's no like writing on it or anything, but it's sealed with like a golden looking wax. And the stamp is a symbol for the Wheel of Fortune. And he like sets it down on the counter, and he slides it toward you. And
What is this?
And he goes, once the fortune's done, of course.
Of course. We are welcomed by a higher degree of the tower. You can get a free fortune from us. You will be greeted by our artisan, and then she steps into the curtain, and then she shape changes into a different person before he.
Okay, so we see you like step behind. You're like, yeah, let me go get my employee, and you step into the curtain.
Right.
And then we see the other person step out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We switch to this person. Oops.
I got you. I'm gonna fix
Can't
it.
see anymore.
Yeah, I know. Here, fixed.
Okay. Welcome. I am the artisan of this retail store or tent. Come in.
Yeah, he steps in. He's like he kind of he plays along. At least like he plays along with it.
Oh gosh.
He doesn't bat an eye. But yeah, he follows you in. And he says
Okay.
he says, "How's this normally work? Do you use well, you don't use cards, do you?"
We don't. We use the pendulums. It's technically it's a weighted object attached to a cord. It helps you with your subconscious thinking. As you enter, you see like different strings, chains, and ropes, as well as different materials like crystals, metals, and even rocks.
Okay. Yeah, so he follows your lead. Do you have him like sit down at a table or something? He's like he's looking at all the crystals. He's being very careful not to touch anything. Except for when he pulls the chair out to sit down. What is is it like a wooden chair and table, or?
Yeah, it's a wooden chair and table.
So the chair like creaks as he like sits down on it. He sits up straight, and he just like waits for you to do your thing. He says, "I'm sorry. Do you need a question?"
No, not yet. We need to let you find which object which object you're more attuned with, and he drops different kinds of gemstones, metals, and rocks.
Okay. So okay. He kind of looks over some of the different crystals and different like stones. I'm guessing some of them are like, I don't know, like baronzite and granite or something too. Like there's is there any that would represent like negativity or anything like that? I don't know much about stones.
I don't either, but maybe he would see more of like the clear quartz because he's trying to He's trying to clear his head with negative energy.
Okay. So he's looking over them and he's like he starts to like reach out to each one that he like is kind of checking out, and he pulls his hand back until he finds like a piece of amber, I think. And so it's like a chunk of amber. And he goes, "Oh, that's supposed to be good for warding off bad energy, isn't it?" Then he reaches out and kind of touches it, and as soon as he touches it, like the splinters run through the crystal, like it cracks and fractures. It doesn't like break apart, but it just like like spreads through it as soon as his hand makes contact with it. And he pulls his hand back and he goes, "Oh, sorry, I have that effect on things. Why don't we just go with that one?"
That amber costs 100 gold points, by the way.
Gold points.
Oh, I mean gold.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes, sorry about that. I'll see if I can't get that replaced.
Okay. All right. So this one you wanted to make me a pendulum using this stone, and he picks the one that Nurnum picked.
Yeah, he nods.
All right. Let me try tinkering. Can I just do a jeweler tools?
Sure.
All right. Let's see. Use my intelligence with this.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good roll.
Now that we've made your pendulum, we will ask for the diviner to help you with your question. And then he stands up and then walks behind a curtain. And he shape changes into the changeling.
Okay, all right. Hang on. All right. So
Oh, I forgot to even change my avatar. Oops.
that one. Okay, so you change to this. So you walk behind the curtain, and you come back, and different person, a changeling, walks out from behind the curtain. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you see a creature that's pale with silver hair and streaks of red hair as well, with green eyes. Same as like the two other creatures before him. Let's see.
Okay.
Hello, welcome. I am the diviner.
Yeah,
It's time to.
he kind of like tips his hat to you, and he goes, "Manager."
No, diviner. The manager was the female that you were talking to.
Oh, right. Sorry.
What are you here for?
I was getting my fortune done with this Amber. I think they. Well, it. I don't. I'm not sure exactly how this works.
Oh,
He says,
yes,
"Sorry.
yes.
Do you need a
So
question?"
Yeah. What is your question?
Well, I need to know how long we have.
We can talk all day, but
No.
it
I
seems
mean,
that you're a busy
no.
man.
He goes, no, I mean, that's my question. I need to know how long we have before heaven's destroyed.
Um, Unfortunately, we can't answer you fully with that question. We only answer yes and no questions.
All right. Okay. Yes or no questions. All right. Do we have more than a month before heaven is destroyed?
All right. We'll see. We might answer that question. You could hold that pendulum by the end using your thumb and index finger.
Yeah, okay. He does as instructed. He holds up and grabs the pendulum.
Let's first do you notice it swinging?
He says, "What am I supposed to be doing? Is it swinging?"
No, 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 no. Let's first ask a yes or no question. What is your name?
He said, "Wait, I thought you
Oh,
said
that is not a yes or no.
yeah, exactly.
Let's do this. What is your name again?
You can call me Nurnum.
Nurnum. All right, let's ask the pendulum for guidance. Let's see if it swings vertical, counterclockwise, clockwise, whichever. And if it swings that way, it might be the yes answer. All right. Are you Nurnum? Yes or no?
Does it do anything? You're asking the question, right?
Right. If it whichever swings it goes, it will be a yes. We'll just keep it that way. I don't really know. We're new. We're new. Okay.
So, is he holding it now, or are you holding it, the pendulum?
Yeah. No, you're holding it.
Okay. Yeah, he's like, okay, I guess it's swinging. I think.
Okay. I see the way it swings. That is a yes. This is the yes answer. Now you could ask if we have at least a month until heaven is destroyed. What was that your question?
Yeah, he nods.
And then
Yeah, he's
if it
like,
goes the opposite.
No, it doesn't go the opposite. You don't get to choose the answer.
Oh, okay.
This isn't a choose your own adventure. On if it's right, then actually it goes neither way. It
Okay.
pins straight down. It doesn't swing at all.
Interesting. This is probably a question we can't really tell the answer. Maybe it's a maybe. We've never really got this
He goes,
thing happen before.
"Are you sure this thing's working?"
Yeah, it works. It works.
He says, "You're certain about that?"
Maybe it just needs a little cleansing. Maybe your energy's too strong. It's amplifying negative vibes.
He says, "All right, all right. Well, maybe I just need to clear my head or something. Let me ask you something. How'd you get into heaven anyway? Like, how did you reach enlightenment or whatever you call it?"
He ponders and focuses on the not so distant past. Um. How did I get into heaven?
Do we need your tokens over on this other screen here?
Sure.
Should I just put the? I'll just put these two.
Yeah, you can put the pictures.
Okay. These pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do this part?
Let's see. Oops. I dragged the wrong one. So, oh, all right. I see it now. So, oh, never mind. That's not it. So you see two siblings right by a shrub of flowers. You see like the male dwarf investigating these shrubs of new flowers that he hasn't seen before. And then the female dwarf. What is this?
Here, I got you.
All right.
So we see like a female dwarf matching Abe's description, catching up with her brother, who has become distracted by these flowers that grow alongside this road that they're walking. In the distance, we see like the entrance to a mine, and maybe we see other dwarves coming and going from the mine. The brother turns to the sister and says,
I've never seen this before. Don't try to touch it, Abe. They seem to be. Can I do a nature check?
Sure. It's 13. It's not great.
Yeah, I don't know what they are, but I've seen dead animals by it. They could be poisonous.
What does the sister say? Pretty.
I don't believe in poison. We're dwarves. We're resistant to poison. Maybe we should do a fortune telling with the flowers. I don't think that's a good idea, Abelona. The brother replies. And then I think the memory stops there because I think he forgot what really happened to them.
Okay. There was another part of that, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to just cut to that part?
Yeah, let's cut for it for now. And then we go back to Nurnum and them in the tent.
Okay. So back at the tent. Nurnum says, all right, well, I guess let's give this another try.
Yeah, it seems that
Maybe
my
maybe my question was too specific. How about this? Is there something, is the flesh making a play on heaven? This,
let's see.
yeah, he asked the question. Can you just like make a jeweler's tools roll, I guess, or whatever roll you have for your pendulum thing?
Okay. I usually do. I don't know.
It's a critical fail. Um, okay. So here's what happens. The the pendulum, is it hanging from like a chain or something?
Yeah.
Okay. So this time, instead of just like not going either way or, swinging in one direction, it's it floats, it goes straight up, like, and puts a lot of tension on the chain. And then Durham's like looking at it like, what in the world is happening? And then the chain snaps, and the amber goes flying up and hits the top of the tent, and then
Hmm.
falls back down onto the table.
What did you do?
He says, "Don't look at me. I didn't. I just asked a question."
Well, it answered for you. What are you really here for?
I told you I just wanted to get a fortune read.
Well, you've destroyed my 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 stuff. That'll be 120 gold, please.
Oh, I told you I don't have any money.
Then what's in this envelope then?
Oh, well, that's an invitation for you. You see, supposed to be a representative from outside heaven, ambassador of sorts, making their way. Give me some kind of
An am-
yeah. He nods. Yeah, he says, "I know it's unheard of.
ambassador.
Some kind of, well, from what I understand, it has something to do with the flesh. Something controlling it. New boss, maybe. Not certain. We've been told to stand down to arrange a truce. That it can be done, but I have my doubts. I don't see it coming
Mm.
to heal under anyone, and I think it's still a threat, and that it's doing this to get close to the fountain, to corrupt it."
Am I here as a sacrifice, or am I here to fend off that evil presence?
Well, this envelope gives you an invite to the party that they're
Oh,
going
it's
to
a
be
party.
holding. He nods. Uh, this ambassador, this representative they're sending, should be there. You being a fortune teller, I was hoping you can get a good read on them.
To be honest with you, we're new here and we don't even know so much about fortune. I don't even know why we're here.
Yeah, he's just blankly staring at you. Nurnum says, like he's not surprised by anything you're saying. Um, he says, there should be a lot of important people at this event. I'm sure you could make a lot of money reading fortunes.
Uh, you know what? You're right. We need a lot of money. And then you see their faces changing every time you talk per 6 seconds, because I can only do it per.
Okay. Yeah, he nods. He says, now, we'll try this again. Let me try to clear my head. Focus for a minute. Why don't you tell me the rest of that story? How you found enlightenment? What was it you all were doing at that mon anyway?
We were trying to get the. I think it was we were dwarves. The heart of gold. But I don't remember how we died.
He says, "Oh, you're kidding."
Yeah, we're not kidding. You've heard about this treasure before, haven't you?
Yeah, he nods. He says, "The heart of gold." Yeah, it's supposed to be what dwarves lost, right?
Yeah.
Thing that made them whole.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find it?
We don't really know, but seems that it led us here. Now we're in this body.
He kind of leans in, and he says, and he squints at you, and he says, "You sure you don't remember?"
No, I'm having a migraine right now.
Yeah, there's something when you're like, he's uncomfortable to be around, kind of like there's something off with his energy. You've said that already. Like he's got negative energy. It just flows off of him. Um, and he's kind of looking at you intently. And he says, "Would you like to
Like to what?
know what happened?"
Maybe, yeah, but maybe we can know the answer at the party. Are you gonna be there?
Uh, he shakes his head no. But he reaches up one hand and like touches it to your temple, like touches a hand to your temple, unless you stop him.
Yeah, I try to stop him.
All
Hey,
right.
what are you doing?
You gonna make a contested check?
Sure.
All right.
This is a power death kill or something.
It would be probably athletics or acrobatics
Oh, okay.
because he's trying to do a thing. Oof, that's not good. Okay. So I guess you like try to push his hand away, but he moves so fast. Like again, he moves with intent, and purpose very quickly. And as soon as his like his skin makes contact with like your temple, he pulls his hand back. So it only lasts for like a second. But as soon as the skin makes contact, you hear a loud bang, like thunder. Uh, but it echoes through your entire skull. Um, like a gunshot. And you feel something in like you feel something in your head and in your mind change as the memory comes back. um and And here, why don't I just pull us over to this screen? Yeah, you want to do this?
All right.
So it shows them talking on a hillside, right by the opening of the mine. The boy and the girl. Um, and go ahead. What are you all talking about?
You see them talking about, oh, this is what happened after the volcano erupted. And then they are by the flowers that they saw as they came out from the mines. And then they tell each other that I'd rather be with you than die in the volcano. And they start eating the flowers instead of getting what do you call this? Getting burned by the lava.
Yeah, so we see this scene where you're on this hillside by the opening to the mine, and I guess maybe you were talking or squabbling about something, and then there's this loud boom. The ground shakes, and we see off in the distance this fire erupting from the mountain. Parts of the mountain are caving in on itself. It's a serious eruption. Yeah, and you all are like, well, let's go out together on our own terms, I guess, instead of in this lava and fire and brimstone, and start eating the flowers. Okay. And then we cut back to the tent. And
That's probably how it happened.
and Nurnum kind of like pulls his hand back, and he kind of nods. He picks up the broken chain that the pendulum was on. And he suddenly it's not broken anymore. Like he runs it through his palm. And it's no longer broken. He hooks the amber onto the end of it. And he holds it up. And he says, is the fountain in danger of being corrupted? Can you make a jeweler's tools roll?
Yeah. All right.
And it swings slightly, barely to the yes. And he looks at you and he says, what's it saying?
Yes. It's gonna get corrupted. But maybe we could stop it.
He stands up, and the chair like scoots back behind him. And he says, I'm afraid there's only one way to stop it.
How?
He says, I'll work on that. You should be at that party. And then there's another crack of thunder. And he's gone. Like there's even like a wind that comes off of him as he like disappears in a flash of light. And I think that's probably where we end your scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. So next we see a sort of extravagant looking building. We see it from the outside. As someone is approaching the door. Give me 1 second to grab that person. Boom. And pull them onto that screen. Boom. Lucero, what do you look like as we see you walking up to this door?
Luce has got shorter golden blonde hair about to their shoulders. They've got bright, expressive blue eyes. Easygoing smile on their face. They've got a cross between armor and wizard's robes. So it's kind of flowy, but it fits to them well. And they're about 5'11" with a lithe build.
Okay. We see you reach out and open this kind of large door that leads into like an open space, sort of like a bazaar kind of, and this market. So we see you walking through this. It's almost like a corridor, but there's no ceiling, like it's open sky. And in the sky, we see it's nighttime. There's stars, and we see a rather large moon, kind of illuminating this corridor. There's a bunch of stalls that line the walls of this place as you're walking through. All vendor stalls, so different people selling different things. You walk by one as this humanoid cat is got a bunch of crystals in the bucket. Some of them are floating, and the cat gives you like a Cheshire grin as you walk by, and is like, we have magic crystals for sale. I'm assuming you probably ignore them and keep walking. Up to you.
They kind of give them like a nod, but their pace is definitely like, I have a place to be right now.
Yeah, okay. There's a bunch of people. There's like a hustle and bustle, right? There's a bunch of people going to different stalls. And yeah, it like smiles at you as you walk by, and then we see its face like quickly change, but then the camera follows you. Okay. We see people grabbing like powders in satchels. There's people that are placing some things in smoking pipes. There are people buying drink, all kinds of substances. There's all kinds of different things being sold here. There's even a stall where it looks like there are people up for auction, perhaps. That kind of thing. And then we see like some signs on walls Some say like library, spa, theater, ballroom. They all lead to different things. Others are unmarked. Some just have symbols on them. Things like a picture of a moon, or like the silhouette of a bird or a sheep. And then we see you get to like the back of the space, and there's like food areas. There's like different restaurants. One just has like a wall, and there's a sign outside that just says food. And there's like a little door leads into like a stone wall.
Luce would know exactly which one to go to. They've been there several times.
Yeah. We see like back here, there's less of a crowd that's kind of thinned out a bit. So we see you walk up and open this door. As the door opens, the smell of coffee fills your nose. We see, as you walk in, we see people seated at different tables. We see like an open seating area, and a familiar face across the room at the bar. 1 second here. Let me get this other screen up and going and give you vision, because probably gonna need that. Yeah. Oh, I gotta give the audience vision now. Hang on, audience. Don't panic. There we go. So yeah, we see you walk into this like tavern, basically. All these there's a couple folks eating. There's like one table that's got a bunch of orcs sitting at it. And there's people sitting at the bar. And there's one guy who's like he's talking to this other guy at this table, and he's got a couple glass bottles out that he's showing them. The contents in them seem to be like different colors. And you see a familiar face standing at the bar, an Air Genasi. What do you do?
Luce is gonna head straight for them. Ooh, yay.
You should be able to. Yeah, you got it. Okay. Cool. All right, you head straight for the Air Genasi at the bar. You walk up and take a seat on one of the stools.
Yeah.
All right. So as you approach, the Air Genasi kind of smiles. And I guess he just goes, I understand. And he looks behind him where there's a door. There's, I guess the door's like hidden behind a curtain of string. And he just yells, "Yo, sis, Brady Boy's here to see you."
So when he says that, a voice answers back and he goes, "Huh? Oh, tell him I'll be right there." And then a few moments later, this happy Earth Janazi walks through the curtain confidently. Her skin resembles stone. I don't know if you can pull up the picture, Ramblin.
I can. Let me pull you onto the screen first here. Oh. This picture or the other one?
Yes. I mean, they're the same.
Okay. That looks good. It's like really, when I do the zoom in on your token, it like makes it really big, and it's like it looks really good.
Thanks. So her skin resembles stone, but there's not as stiff or rigid as regular stone. It's a little tougher than regular human skin, though. And it's slightly glossy, as if it was polished. But most of her skin is flawless, with just a small, faint crack at the base of her right eye. Small pieces of you can see small pieces of gems and minerals can be seen spread sparsely on her skin, some on her face, the back of her neck. But she does have two noticeably large gems at her wrists, one sapphire on her right wrist and a ruby on her left wrist. She has another quartz clump forming on her left shoulder, and where her hair normally would be is a clump of quartz crystals that are grown to resemble sort of like a bob haircut. She wears a golden tiara with golden leaf designs. And in terms of clothes, she wears like a set of bronze scale armor and two arm bangles with a jade marble design. And as she walks through those like the curtain of string at the door, um, the camera zooms in her face and she smiles. And she minor illusions like you know how like in a video game, when an NPC like shows up, there's like a bar like a square that like says their name. She minor illusions Quartz, co-founder of the Heart Desire, as she appears.
It's like in Borderlands, whenever you meet a like an NPC character, it like their name shows up. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right on.
Oh,
I dig it.
Lucy boy, don't mind the words. Just testing out something new. Having a bit of fun is all. You're here early. I was expecting you a bit later.
I had some extra free time, so I thought I'd pop by. And like Luce leans on the counter slightly. They keep the casual smile still on their face, clearly amused by the words.
Oh, good. Well, you look particularly bright today. Very sunny. Give me a second to grab your prize for you. So she disappears back through the string curtain, and a few seconds later, she comes back with this small, like ornate box tied neatly with a bow, and she hands it to him. Han, Baba said that this is some of her best work. She was extremely excited to make this particular magic item. I think she shares your interest in beans. I told her, well, Lucy Boy simply has to have this bottle of boundless coffee. And well, as soon as I mentioned your name, she beamed with joy. I think she has a crush on you. She winks at him. And then she, seems like someone's making a good impression with the ladies. Be sure to put that allure to good use.
Luce's smile turns sheepish as they take the box and they curiously start opening it up. I'm just a little old wizard, nothing more. What do I owe you for the bottle? They look up at Quartz with a serious look on their face.
Oh, don't worry about it, darling. Let's just say you owe me an incy little favor in the future, and we'll call it even. You might want to swing by Little Baba's shop, though, and pay her a visit. She was asking me a lot of questions about, the strapping young wizard of the sun who ordered the coffee. I told her she would probably see you at the party tonight. You are going, aren't you? I'd be surprised if the famed Lucero wasn't called upon to make an appearance. If you want, I can introduce the two of you. I love myself a nice meet cute.
They shake their head and roll their eyes slightly. I think you're stretching it a bit with the famed bit, but yes, I am going. I wouldn't miss it with how big this thing seems to be. Any idea on what it's supposed to be about?
So Quartz looks around the little food court area, and she edges closer to Lucero. Her hands like in front of her mouth, like trying to hide her answer. Well, I have an inkling. We have to be careful who. See, not everyone's invited, and jealousy can be pretty common around these parts. To be honest, it's a little troublesome too. So hush hush. Anyways, according to Rai Rai, there's an important visitor coming to see the Bodhisattva. I don't know who exactly it is. How the higher ups like to keep things hush hush. But it must be someone real important. Maybe a new arrival? I can't imagine anyone in heaven that incredible where all the big boys have to come and meet them. I tried to pry and ask Rai Rai some more questions, but he was tight lipped about the whole thing. You know how he is. He just gave me that grumpy little look he always gets when I ask him too many questions. But, I mean, if you're going and I'm going, I guess we'll know soon enough. Anyways, they asked me to help with the catering. They're expecting quite a few guests to show up, so I recruited a few other devils to help out as well.
Lucero's eyes raise in surprise and their eyes widen a bit. All of the Buddha Vista? I don't think I remember anything like that happening the whole time I've been here. And they lean back a little bit as they think on it. Well, whoever or whatever this is for should be a fun party at least. You want some help?
Quartz smiles, really with a really big grin because she has an idea. Well, if you're offering, I know a lovely little lady who would be super excited to work alongside you. She's offered her assistance as well, and as soon as she finished her little cup, she had this great idea to make an ever-flowing fountain of fondue. Sounds scrumptious. Anyways, I think she's almost done with it. Poor thing has been working nonstop to get it done by tonight. Anyways, look at me rattling on and on. Quartz pauses and leans in. He smiles slyly as if she's been wanting to know the answer to her next question for a while. So, Lucy, has that beautiful face of yours been snatched up yet, or is someone available for tonight's party? I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for
Lucero laughs and shakes her heads. No, not yet. But I'm sure if Candor had his way, I'd be locked in that office of his for at least a decade if he could ever get his hands on me long enough.
Bart's eyes grow. She's a little shocked at what she just said. Ooh, child. She motions her hands in the air. She's pouring a cup of tea, and then she hands it to Luce. Here's your cup of tea. Now spill it. Is there something going on with you and Candor?
You only wish, Quartz. No, we just have a bit of a cat and mouse game going on. Every time he finds me, I move my little home I keep. That's all. If we weren't already in heaven, I'd say I'd probably make him go gray.
Well, if you're ever in the market for some fun times, I can help you find whatever your heart truly desires. And then Quartz winks. It's in the name, after all. That's my specialty. My family and I have built the heart's desire up from a humble stall. Now look at it. She puts her hands in the air, gesturing to the whole building, the bazaar and the food court and everything. It's a place where anyone and everyone can come to explore their greatest wishes. So, what about you, Lucero? What is it that you want more than anything? Apart from the coffee, that is.
Luce smiles softly as they lean forward, slightly resting their hands on their hands. Oh, Quartz. Now that is something I'll keep to myself a while yet. They then lean back a little bit. So, what's Baba's favorite flower?
Well, as far as I know, marigold. She's quite keen on them. She has a few of them in her workshop. Why? Trying to do something sweet for your admirers? You're quite the charmer.
Hardly a charmer. I'm horrible at those spells.
So, well, I'll see you tonight then.
Yes.
Get your party on.
Just let me know where to meet you and what time.
Will do.
This is gonna get up and head for the exit.
All right. Good stuff. That's where we end that scene. Then we fade into another scene. We see the inside of a room. We see the doors to the room across from the other side are rather nice. They're made of gold. The rest of the room, however, is very dark, kind of dingy. It is full of these pneumatic tubes. We hear like the sound of air rushing through them every so often as we see like another parcel delivered. Standing at like a sort of console or like reception area for all these pneumatic tubes, we see a tiefling or maybe a human. I don't know. Candor, you want to describe yourself?
Well, despite my best attempts, I definitely do look like a tiefling. I mean, yes, I wouldn't say like terribly tall, but taller than average. Fairly well built. Does have long orange hair with a beard. Also is in possession of, not by their own choice, but he has a very big rack.
Right on.
Yeah, they just seem to have come back after dying.
All right, fair enough. So we see one of the pneumatic tubes hiss as like a parcel comes down in it. What do you do?
Ah, beans, not another one. I'll go check it out.
Yeah. You open you like pull the little thing out of there. It's probably made of glass, with like metal ends on it, or they're probably like golden tips on either side of the glass. Maybe like little gears that you turn. You can just reach in and pull the envelope out. Yeah, the first one you get is an envelope. It's got a stamp in gold on the outside of it with the image of the sun in the stamp. Yeah, you open it up. Let's see here.
What do I find?
Hold on. I'm trying to generate what you find.
Ah, got it.
Where did my thingamajig go? Okay.
It's right next to the doohickey.
All right. So you see so you see a name on it. The first thing, it's written in gold ink on probably like vellum paper. As you like pull the letter out, you unfold it. The name you see is Akoquia, ACO Quia. Natac is the last name. Natac. It's one line. The
what
name
in the world are people naming their children nowadays?
It's like they're using a random name generator to name their kids. And and under that you see Cleric of the Sun. And then under that you see a spell. The spell is Sacred Flame.
Ah, wonderful. An easy stamp.
Yeah, all right. So you like lay it on the counter, you stamp it, you put it back in the tube, you close it up. We see you like stick it over to like another pneumatic tube, where as soon as like it gets to the bottom of it, just gets sucked through the tube, right? A few seconds later, there's another one shows up, another tube. You open it up, We see
Yep.
another name. This one is Hawa, Hawha, Gesamoy, Gesamoi. This is a cleric of the sun. And they are casting Fireball.
Ooh, someone's having some fun. Yep, stamp.
Yeah. You see, you like put the stamp on it, put it back in the thing, send it over to another tube. It gets sucked up the tube. And then we see another one come down from one of the other things. You open it up. The name on the inside is Melora. No last name.
Not too uncommon.
Under that, it says Follower of the Fool. Doesn't say cleric, doesn't say priest, just says Follower of the Fool. The spell is True Resurrection. And it says, below that, there's a line that says, target of spell required. And it probably even says like meta knowledge because this is a 9th level spell. Or it might be in like parentheses and be like, this is a high level of magic, so the target is required. And the target is the Fool.
I'm pretty sure he just stares at it for a little while. At this point, I'm pretty sure he has had his like feet up on something as he has been doing this, and he's putting them down, and he is very confused. I feel like this is a big deal, and why did this happen to me?
What do you do?
I've been here a while. There's certainly some sort of manual on what to do when there's like a 9th level spell in your thing from someone else. I'm gonna frantically look through whatever like department information we have and find absolutely nothing.
Yeah. You pull out this huge book, right? Like it's like 3 feet thick, right? And you like set it on this counter. You have to like blow the dust off of it. And it takes like 2 hands to open the thing. Yeah, and you're like looking through that. What if another Arcana spell comes through? You don't see anything. Yeah, I know it's the Fool and not Odane. Sorry. You want me to change retcon it and say it's Odane the Fool? We could do that. Yeah. You don't find anything on how to deal with this. Shouldn't happen.
Beans. Oh, I know. What do I always do when I get in trouble around here? Oh, Lucero!
All right. You run and get your friend Lucero for help.
Yes.
All right. So we see you like run towards this like golden door on the other side of the room, and like push it open. When the door opens, we see like a hallway of just like gold. And also there's like an open top at the top so that the sunlight can shine in. So it's well lit up. We see like go running down the hallway. You go past another room where there's like an identical door to the one you just came out of, except this one is propped open. When you go past the room, the camera is like at an angle where we can see inside the room, and inside the room we see like another pneumatic tube room, but there's a like 20-foot tall blue humanoid with like 16 arms that's just like just like tube after tube after tube, just like doing them all at the same time, right? And that's just something we just see as you like run by the room. Then we see you like get to like the main entrance, the temple. We see you go outside. And I'll just give you a shot of the outside of the temple. Just because. And let you go crazy running out of here because you got to go track down because you gotta go track down
When he goes,
Lucero.
"Oh, Lucero," does Lucero get that like random cold chill?
Yeah, like your ears are burning or whatever.
You sneeze.
Yeah. So we see you like come out of the main entrance, and we see this.
Excuse me. Pardon me. Arcana business. Gotta go.
Yeah. Maybe there's like other people. Yeah, there's people walking in and out or whatever. You're like rubbing shoulders with them. Yeah. Okay. So you take off. We see you like run down the stairs and run alongside the water, and yeah, you're Audi 5000.
I'd like to get like far enough away from people, and then I'm just gonna cast fly.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right. So yeah, you just get away from the crowd, cast fly. You see you take off into the air. Then we cut. I guess we'll cut back to the tavern. This would be a good way to bring everybody together here. Well, at least part of the group together. You know what I mean? And
Of course, get to be witness to this.
yeah, we see you walk into the tavern. Let me turn your vision on, Wolfie, so you can see.
I was about to say.
I don't know why some of you guys just don't have vision randomly.
He just walks in, Lucero turns around, it's just like, no.
I feel like we took care of that. Do you have dark vision also?
I do, yes.
60 feet?
That's correct.
I thought we had done that in our session 0, but oops. All right, so yeah, you walk into the tavern. And it's like right at the end of the
him is just like
conversation, yeah.
Fuck.
Lucero! There's a problem.
When isn't there a problem?
That is a good question. Oh, no time for good questions. It's a problem.
I finally have coffee.
Hi, Candor. How are you? We were just talking about you.
Wait, really? Why?
Please, no Quartz.
Quartz looks at Lucero and smiles. I don't know. Lucero, you want to tell him why we were talking about him?
Quartz, if you want any more business, you'll drop this now.
Okay, fine. You're no fun. Candor, you said you had a
You
problem.
love me.
Is there something I can do to help?
I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and join them at the bar.
Yeah, you should be able to walk over there.
Yeah, I was just making sure I kind of... Because there's a dude there. There's a dude on either side.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Here, I'll just move this
I'm
guy.
kind of clipping, but it's fine.
I'll move him out of the way. Give me 1 second.
Woo.
I was setting up the next screen, actually. We'll put him on this stool.
Perfect. Yes, I ask him to move.
Yeah, he just kind of like he's a little drunk already, maybe. He just and he just like gets up and stumbles to the other stool.
Thank you, kind sir. Also, you should probably stop drinking.
Is the air genasi still next to us, or is he like tending to the other customers?
He would be tending to customers. He wouldn't just like hang out with you guys the whole time. I mean, he could be doing other stuff, but you can call him over if you want.
No, I'm just asking. That was it.
Okay, Candor,
So-
what's going on?
So there may have been something weird with the prayer request system. And
Lucero is, like,
we
shaking
may
his
have
head.
like an possibly Arcana level issue going on.
Details, hun? Details?
Thank you, Quartz.
We can't necessarily help you out, dear, if you're very vague.
Is the letter that you got in your hand, or did you stash it somewhere?
Oh, I have stashed it like
Okay.
quite a bit. I probably stashed it as I was leaving the room,
Okay.
especially if I was going to fly here.
So what did it say?
It may have been not to the sun, but instead to the fool for some reason. And it may have been a level 9 spell.
Well, I mean, fool is an arcana.
There are powerful wizards and clerics and paladins out there, level 9. While rare, it's not that rare.
Why would that?
There's a couple of things that make this weird. Number one, it came to the sun prayer request room to start with. That's odd.
Yeah.
And number two, the target is a little worrying.
Do we need to go somewhere to discuss this?
Yes.
Quartz, can we go to the back?
Yeah. We'll head to the back. Can you handle this, Akash? That's the name of her brother, by the way.
Yeah, he says, don't worry, I got this.
All right. Follow me, dearies.
Let
Then
me
she opens up the string curtain.
let me move that so you can boom, there you go. So you can walk back there. There's also another area there.
If you guys want to come.
Yeah. So this is what the back looks like. So you got like a little kind of cooking and seating area back here, like a kitchen area. And then I guess this other room is like a storage room. But there's like a table you could sit down and talk at privately. Yes. A fireplace.
I'm definitely not sitting down. I am pacing.
Candor's just standing, arms crossed, watching you.
You mean Lucero?
Lucero, yeah.
Quartz is gonna put her hand on his shoulder and she's gonna go, so hon, you need to calm down. And then give us the details, because we don't really understand what's so wrong about the situation.
Well, I would think you would at least like understand that it's weird for us to get anybody else's requests.
Well, were they requesting the fool?
Yes.
What would Lucero need to roll to see if they're up about the different arcanas?
Probably be Arcana or religion or history, maybe.
Doing Arcana.
19. You're fairly up on them. So the weird thing about this is that it's that it's a resurrection spell on the fool. Like the fool is not supposed to be needing a resurrection spell. Nobody knows.
He hasn't told us that
yeah.
the target is the fool. He just said that.
Or that it's a resurrection spell.
Okay.
I think Lucero was trying to figure out, like, is it really that weird that we got that request?
It's very weird. Yeah. It's very weird. It shouldn't happen. This should have been sent through to whoever handles this in the Fools department, not the Sons department.
Random question. Is there in the administration part of the world, is there like can different departments communicate with each other? Is there like a phone where you can, like,
Interdepartmental communication.
yeah, can you just like call, hey, Fool department?
Oh, it wouldn't be that simple. No, you'd probably have to like.
No, this is bureaucracy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, you'd probably have to like, you wouldn't even be able to talk to a person directly. You'd have to like file a request, and then you'd have to meet
Representative?
Yeah.
Well,
Representative.
How does one file a request?
You'd have to like
You
travel
go there in person?
Yeah, you'd have to travel to the Fools district in person, and then you'd have to go to like an administration building, which is not even the building where you'd be having the conversation with the person you're supposed to talk to. And you got to probably like wait in line. And of course it's the Fool, right? So they're going to like screw everything up. They're not going to be paying attention to anything you're saying. They're going to be drunk or whatever, right? And so, yeah, you're just going to have to deal with all that mess.
Okay. Can I
Put the fear of the gods in them.
can I do a history check to see if I know anyone from the Fools department?
Sure.
Candor, do you have the message with you?
I do, yes.
May I see it?
Because I definitely could not leave this there. Oh God, yep, nope, yeah. And yeah, I'll produce it from my bag of holding, I guess.
All right. Success, Keo.
Well, how about this, hun? I can contact someone at the Fools, and maybe I can send them a message for you. What do you want me to say?
Oh, I just need you to tell them that they're not going to have enough time. Look.
Well, can you tell me what you want me to say in 25 words or less? As I cast sending to this person.
Yeah,
I'd like you to say, I need this done now.
Let's see who this person is. Tixa. Tixa.
Tixa?
Yep.
Tixa, we have a problem. Let me just count up the words.
I would say, I would imply that if they do not get to us in time, we go to our own arcana with this news.
An incorrect request was made. Time is of the essence.
A Fool's request went to the sun.
That the whole message?
No,
I think they're like building it slowly.
To resurrect your boss.
Has he told us that yet?
I showed you it, yes.
Oh. To resurrect your boss.
Yeah. You were thinking of like somebody to contact, and I was like, no, look, you don't understand.
Lucero's also like looking at the actual message too, so.
Time is of the essence.
Lucero, why does this always happen to me?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Angry Sun Wizard knows.
All right, so you got 4 words.
Heart's desire now.
Luz is gonna look at Candor and just like shrug.
She can respond. Tixa can respond.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about what her response would be. What her response would be to this. Heart's desire now is supposed to mean like what she desires, right?
No, heart's desire is in like
The location.
to the heart's desire.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Well, Candor, we have two options with this. We can either attempt to do this the bureaucratic way, which is the way we always do things, or we can go the nuclear option. Because apparently the fools have been keeping this hush hush.
You know, I don't usually like the nuclear option, but I think that might be an option now.
I do love myself a juicy secret. Thank you for sharing, Candor.
This is why we can't be friends. You know I can't keep a secret.
And this is why we are friends.
So that's the message you get. You get back. Hold on. Hold on. There's more. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, you keep typing 5 words. It's quite funny. Oh, wait, no, the second one is 6. I'm dumb. It's almost a haiku.
Yeah, I know. I think, wait, let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
You're
10,
at 16,
11,
yeah.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be perfect.
So, Candor, I got a response for you.
Oh, please tell me it's fine.
Slight hiccup.
I don't like hiccups.
Apparently, the Fools Department is closed.
Why did they get to close?
She also says it isn't safe. Seems like there's a problem. But
I would say yes, there's a problem.
But Sixa did say that she can meet us at the party tonight.
There's a party?
So,
yeah, there's some bigwig coming. All the Bodhi Vista are going to be up here.
Were you not invited?
I don't pay
Candor's
attention
going to be
those
my
things.
+1.
Well, I'm sure between the two of us, he'll be fine. But we should probably meet up with her and get this thing straightened out.
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea.
I will message her back to meet up with us at the party. So I cast Sending again and say, Tixa, do I know what the venue is, Sam?
The venue
for the party?
I would think so.
The party
since you're asking
locale.
for the food.
Yeah. Make I mean, you know about the party.
Yeah, I'm catering, so I guess I'll just say.
Yeah, I think you would know. Yeah, you're catering. You'd have to.
Is there a kitchen? I'm assuming.
I think so. Let me check and make sure. I think there's definitely a kitchen. It's a big old place. Where goes it?
Before I forget, Luce is going to hand Candor back the message.
Oh, it did not leave my hand.
You passed it to Luce so that way they could read it.
Yeah,
I showed it to you.
Oh.
There's a huge dining. There's a dining area. It's not as big as the tavern here, but it's got like a bar and a couple like a seating areas. There's also like there's like a great hall area too, and another yeah, it's got a huge kitchen and storage area. Actually, probably bigger than the tavern. I'm looking at the whole thing. There's
Not
lots.
that I don't trust you, Lucero, but if I hand you this becomes your problem.
5, 6, 7,
Thank you.
9, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Well, considering you've chosen to involve me, it's already kind of become my problem whether I want it to or not.
Yeah, but at least now you can walk away. If I handed this to you, I could just run away.
Okay, that's her response.
You see, like, an agitated eye twitch and magic spark between their fingers.
See? And that's what I was trying to avoid.
So the response you get is let me count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. This is what you get back. Be careful. I worry something awful has happened. Not sure what this means yet, but our district is clearing out.
Do you tell that to the rest of us?
Yeah, Quartz looks visibly confused, but she doesn't seem too worried yet. She's gonna say, apparently the Fool District is clearing out. I don't know what that means, but she'll meet us at the party, and we'll figure things out then. I might have to talk to Rai about this when I see him. But yeah, Candor, you should come with us to the party. Because party's always nice. You seem a little stressed out. You probably need to relax a bit.
I have been asking for a vacation for about the last decade.
Oh, trust me, Candor, these things are not vacations.
I
You could
mean,
always make it like a vacation.
This is the closest that I'm going to get.
But
I'll go get my good clothes.
All right. Do you want to end the scene there?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
One more scene for you. This might be our last scene today. Myrkrið. You're walking through the sands towards the city. This will be a familiar sands screen. So here is this. Oh, you can't see anything? Do you have vision? Well, there shouldn't even be dynamic lighting on this screen. I don't know what's going on.
Nope.
Let me fix that. It's an old map. I don't remember having dynamic lighting. This map. You remember this high-res map, right? You guys remember what this is from? This is the throwback.
The monks, that father and son.
This is way back to when Tim visited heaven briefly.
Oh.
So yeah, Myrkrið, Wolfrin, you still with us? Okay. So we see you walking through this sand. You've been walking for a while now, several hours. You don't seem to be any closer to the city. Like, it's not getting closer. It's staying off in the distance. Make a Constitution save. Are you barefooted? Or do you have shoes?
I believe I'm barefooted.
Okay. So the sand has started to like really wear on your feet. It's not like they're not like bleeding or like gonna have blisters or anything yet, but it's just a little bit painful. The other thing you've noticed is as you've walked, it's gotten hotter. To the point where it's getting near exhaustion levels. It's starting to get pretty uncomfortable here now. The light from the sun, and I suppose the other giant light in the sky seems to be quite painful. Like your body would crave shade, even though you don't really understand like what you don't know what sunburns are, right? But yeah, you would be able to feel the effects of it. I think you might instinctively like be seeking refuge, but there is none. It's just wide open sand everywhere. What are you doing?
Okay. I mean, does it seem like I've made measurable progress?
No.
Like visibly?
No, it seems like you're not getting any closer.
I mean, I'd be glancing around occasionally. I like the holes with the bells that I left. They're out of sight.
Yeah, those are gone. Yeah, you're not around those anymore. It's just wide open sand now. You probably walked by like thousands of those things before you cleared them.
I have a water skin, but I don't know. There's no landmarks at all.
I mean, off in the distance, there's like places where like rocks jut out of the ground and stuff like that. There's not any like mountain ranges or anything, but there's like little places where like a rock juts out like 2-3 feet. Other than that, it's basically like flat. There's no vegetation. It's just sand. The only landmarks is the city in that one direction. But all you really notice, the only change you've noticed is that you're walking towards it. You're not getting closer somehow. And it's getting hotter. And like the temperature is getting hotter.
Don't know.
You see, just like come to a stop and just you just like you starting to feel really uncomfortable. You're probably covered in sweat. Do you start yelling, or do you like have a moment where you break down and freak out? Like,
how many hours have I traveled? As far as I can tell.
About 5 hours.
No change. Can't think of anything. I don't think he would freak out. Does it feel like the heat is coming from above, or is it just a everywhere heat?
I mean, it's certainly reflecting off the sand. But it's coming from the sun. You know, for the most part, it's just like a really hot desert. But even in like the desert, the sun would reflect up off the sand, and kind of the sand itself would get hot. You know, it'd be like walking on fire, especially barefoot.
Suffering is an old friend. I think you would just keep going. You just keep pushing.
All right. Make another con save.
Okay. Anything? Nope.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, I mean, you're used to this. You're used to pain, right? And you keep trudging along. Again, like, doesn't seem to be getting closer. It's still getting hotter. It's probably upwards of 100 degrees minimum, maybe even a few degrees higher. That's Fahrenheit for you Canadians or whatever out there. Everyone else in the world. Yeah, until eventually you do notice one thing. Off in the distance, you see a man sort of standing out in the open, just sort of watching you. He does seem to be getting closer as you walk. Let me put him on the screen. He's got, well, he probably isn't wearing this color robes anymore. But he looks something like this. But his robes are probably black and gold now, as opposed to the blue that he was wearing before. Long white flowing hair. He has a rice hat, but he's not wearing it on his back. Instead, it's like, or I'm sorry, he's not wearing it on his head. Instead, it's like on his back, and like it's like hanging there by like the strap, the chin strap kind of thing, around his neck.
He's walking towards me?
No, he's just standing still, watching you. Like you're walking towards him.
Oh, okay. In the direction of the
Of the city.
I guess city, yeah.
So he just kind of stands. You just
Okay.
you suddenly notice like he's up a ways, just like standing there watching you. But he just kind of stands there and watches you and kind of waits for you to approach him if you want to.
He doesn't seem that threatening. Yeah, I
No.
wouldn't really I would just kind of keep the same pace until I reach him.
Yeah, so you get within a few feet, and he just kind of calls out to you and he says, "Stranger, what brings you here?"
I was sent with a message, trying to find someone to give it to.
He kind of seems to think for a moment. He says, "A message, you say? Who for?"
Probably would have been a good thing to ask. He just said to give the message to heaven.
So he
So,
makes a
Place,
face.
I think.
Yeah, he makes a face. Roll insight check if you want.
Well, today.
The face he makes is concern, and then his eyes dart towards the city. There's also like a hint of like apprehension, like almost like should I let someone else take care of this kind of thing. But then you can see he sort of like pushes that to the back of his mind. He dismisses that sort of thought. And he says, "For heaven, are you this envoy we're waiting on? You don't seem to have arrived here naturally."
I guess you could call me an envoy. Are you? Do you represent heaven?
No, just death.
Is that it up ahead?
Yeah, he looks off to the city for a second, like he's lost in thought, kind of. Then back to you, and he says, Yes. I assume you've been having trouble reaching it.
I've been at it for a while. Doesn't feel closer.
No. Well,
Is it always this bright here?
yeah, he
And
he kind of looks you up and down when you say that. And he says, yes, I suppose. Why would it be any different?
I was told heaven was like a paradise. And then Myrkrið looks around. I don't see anything growing.
Yeah, he says, why would you assume that there would be something growing everywhere?
Not everywhere, but I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, he tells you to turn around. He's like, turn around. He points behind you.
Myrkrið just kind of like narrows his eyes, but he'll turn, not his
Yeah.
whole body, but just his head and look over his shoulder.
Yeah, you look over your shoulder and you see the rows of those bells. Like you haven't even walked 10 feet from them. Even though they weren't there a second ago, right? And he says, there's a fresh harvest there. Ready soon, I think.
Back at him. Is this a trick, an illusion?
He shakes
Why
his
are
head.
you keeping me here?
He says, had to make sure you weren't a threat. You don't seem to be. But the flesh, it lingers on you.
I don't. What do you mean?
Who sent you
No
to
corruption.
This? He shakes his head. No, there's something there still. Who sent you to this place?
You know him as Tulpa.
He kind of furrows his brow for a moment. And he says, he kind of like he's considering something.
While he's considering, Myrkrið will ask, do you know of Loth?
Let's see if he does.
He doesn't really like wait for an answer, but he says he rules where she once stood.
Okay. Let's see. Uberma sheet. Here it is. History. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he says, interesting. Has it under control, does he?
Well, I think so. Yeah. I mean, I only saw him for a moment.
Well, right this way then. And perhaps there's something I can do to make this more hospitable to you. Like holds out a hand, like to put it on your shoulder, but he hesitates, right? Like kind of like looking at you, like, do I have your permission?
Myrkrið will like look around once more, and I want to take a sniff. What does he smell like?
Make a perception check.
I'd like to smell this random stranger.
He smells like freshly turned earth. A bit of that same flowery smell that you smelled before. Like fresh water, kind of. Like there's a vague hint of like ozone, maybe. Or like fresh water kind of smell. Like a rain, like a fresh rain.
Okay. Myrkrið will just kind of like slightly move forward into his hand.
He puts his hand on your shoulder. You see like his like a light in his eyes for like a second. It's like a yellowish golden color. And then you see, as you look down, you see all these sigils in the same kind of color on your body. As his hand's like making contact with you, you look down, you see all these like sigils inscribed on your body. He pulls his hand away, they all disappear. But it doesn't feel like it's burning up anymore. It feels, again, that same kind of regular, comfortable temperature as when you first got here. That being said, like your feet are kind of sore. They already were. But the sand doesn't like feel as like tough and coarse on them now. Yeah, he pulls his hand away and then he just like gestures to the city. And he says, I think there's some others expecting you.
Myrkrið will give him a little nod. Thanks. Want to walk with me?
I can do that.
Myrkrið just nods and then starts to walk.
Yes, we see the two of you walk towards the city. This time you're clearly making progress, and it doesn't take you that long to get there. But I think that's maybe where we end in today's session. And I think what we're going to do next week is we're going to just do a meeting, like your first initial meeting with some of this guy and some of the other bodhisattvas, or all of them, and then we'll do the party, and that's when things will really kick off.
Okay.
Everybody cool with that? I feel like we're right at about 3 hours. Maybe it's a little bit of a short session today, but I think only by like 30 minutes, which worked out okay.
Yeah, not too bad.
A little bit of a slow start. I think a lot of the stuff was really good. You guys' scenes were awesome today. You guys did fantastic. It's gonna start picking up here soon, so be ready for that. I guess I gotta do shout outs. I forgot how to do this thing. So let me pull shout outs stuff up. So let's see how do well, folks, our Discord server is public now. If you want to jump into that, you can do so there. And see us, I don't know, share memes, talk about lore things from time to time. There's questions, I'll try to answer them. That kind of stuff. You can also jump over on the Patreon and see all the uncensored versions of the videos, with all the swears and no edits, which sometimes you miss if you're watching on YouTube. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, these links are in the description down below. I'm sharing them in Twitch chat for our Twitch people here. Our buddy Wolfrin has some art for his Vash character, which we saw the token today. You can check out the artist who made that at deviantart.com/Jessica Peguerero. I will even I'll bring us back over to that screen real quick and show you what I mean. I think I can do that. Yeah. This guy, this beautiful guy right here. So you can check out deviantart.com/Jessica Peguerero. What else?
Did Kyo's version of Myrkrið get shown at all? I wasn't sure if it did or not.
No, it didn't. I don't think it did.
It's on the bio for Myrkrið.
Let me see if I can show the bio on screen. Can I do that? Not for the audience view, I don't think. So what I'll have to do is drag it onto the screen to show it, because I can't just like show a player's bio. I don't think that's something
I can fix that for next time, maybe.
I can fix it right now. Give me 2 seconds, because Kyo shared it in the table talk, or was it in?
Yes, well, in the inspiration.
Art inspiration. So let me do that. Kyo, while I'm doing this, do you have a page I can send people to for your art?
I do not.
You should get one, man. Your art is awesome.
Thanks.
Okay, let me just save that, and then I just got to upload it to Roll20. Boom.
I'm not sure if I ever mentioned it, but Myrkrið is dark-skinned like the drow, even though his token does not show that.
Is he? But he's not drow, right?
He's not a drow, technically.
Okay. Technically, yeah. I see what you're saying. There you go. There it is. Isn't that awesome? That's so cool looking. So
yeah.
I dig it. All right. So, and of course you can find me on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. You know the thing. Anybody else got anything?
Shout out to Ella Hoshi, who made 3 Vroids.
Yes.
For me.
4.
Yes. Big thanks to Ella. Ella, it was good to see Ella in the chat tonight too, by the way, and Gerblin. I saw you in there. Mori, Wolfie, all you folks, thanks for hanging out and chatting around in the chat. I guess. Thanks for all the extra work behind the scenes, Ella. As I know those Vroids are not easy to make, so big thank you for that.
Ella.
We love you.
Yes. And you're on a trip, right? So enjoy your trip, be safe, and all that stuff. I guess we'll see you guys next week. I forgot how to end a show. It's been
we'll just keep going until next week and then start over again.
That's all, folks.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching.
Did you want to talk about how we're doing the experience?
Oh yeah. Okay, so here's what we're doing for experience now, just so the audience already knows. It's 16 XP max. There's 4 experience categories, and instead of doing them on a player basis, we're gonna do them for everybody as a whole. So everybody gets the same number of experience. They'll get the categories are combat, RP, lore or quest, and rule of cool. Okay. And you get 2, 3, or 4 based on how difficult it was. So like if it's combat, it's based on the combat encounter. If it's medium, hard, or deadly. If it's RP, lore, quest, if it gets a quest, it'll depend on how severe the quest was, like how big of an objective it was. If it's RP or rule of cool, it'll just be like on a rating system. Like, I'll be like, I think that was a 2, or I think that was a 4. And that's Wolfrin's immediately like, I attack the guy who's walking me into the city.
Yes, get us the combat experience.
So that's how experience is gonna work. So I guess I can just do this now. Obviously, there's no combat experience for anybody today. But I think you all deserve 4 for RP. So you all did a good job introducing your characters.
And we're all starting off at how much experience again? The lowest?
The lowest, yeah.
I think it was
Which was Ferdy's,
58.
Right? Let's see.
You got 2 brand new characters here.
59.
Guys, it's not that
I was
hard.
trying not to say anything.
It's not that hard, guys. You guys got 2 brand new characters here. Who do you think has the lowest experience?
Ferdy with 59.
No. It's the brand new characters, right?
Start over. That diminishes what we've already accomplished.
That's a fair point. You did earn that XP. You shouldn't lose it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll start with Ferdy was the lowest at 59 or 58, you said?
Correct. 59.
59.
All right. So we'll put everyone at 59 then. All right, it's 59 out of 100. Remember, they got to get the way we're doing XP, it doesn't change based on your level. It's always 100 XP to get to the next level.
It's just percentile.
Exactly. So obviously there's no XP for combat. RP, I'm giving you guys all 4. Lore quest stuff. There was some lore and quest stuff that came up, but it was kind of minor. It was kind of teasers. So I'm gonna give you guys 2 for that. Rule of cool. What was done today that was like really just cool, took me off guard, something creative basically is what I'm looking for here. I think there was some of that done today, especially with Quartz, and some of that stuff that was going on there.
My NPC pop up.
And what?
My NPC pop up.
Oh yeah. And I really liked the way Ferdy did the like changeling changes.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty neat.
And the reading was pretty cool.
Yeah, the reading was pretty cool too. So I'll give y'all another 3 for rule of cool. So that should be what, a total of 9. So that's 10% of a level.
2 plus 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 10% of a level right there. Easy, right? So everybody gets 9 experience today. Okay. So thank you guys for playing. You guys have been awesome. Welcome to our new players to the game. Can't wait to really jump in and throw you into your first live or die situation. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Everybody have a great week, great night. I'll be back tomorrow for Masks, Haze Crux, Miasma Masquerade tomorrow night. Then Wednesday we have Broken, and then Friday we have Unknown New Orleans. So plenty of tabletop stuff coming up this week. So we'll see you guys then. Yeah, take care, everybody. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Night.
Peace.
Bye.